Yeah, technical difficulties right at the start. I was watching the stream last night. Same thing happened on their stream. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard and YouTube at the moment, but the two of them seem to be having a bit of a tiff with each other. But welcome. It's a Friday night on the Tardis Zone. It's nice to have you here. We're going to just do a short stream tonight. I have a guest standing in the wings, and we're going to just going to talk basically, and we'll see where the conversation goes. But there are a few things that are happening on Twitter. A couple of people who spoke about briefly on Rabbi's stream. We will touch upon that because the nonsense is still going on Twitter. Actually, we've had someone just attack Philip Morris on Twitter. And I'll just read this out. I'll just read the whole thread out. I'm not going to show you any names, right? Because that's, you know yourself, because you just have these idiots complaining, oh, look, he's mentioning names. So I won't mention anybody's names, right? But I'll bring actually our guest in first, and then we'll get straight to the tweet. And I'll give a few shout outs, and then we'll get straight into it, and then we'll have a bit of a chat. Now, myself and Lee will have lower decks at some stage over the weekend. We haven't had a chance, and I haven't, because I actually wanted to go out and do something with the wife today. So that's what we did. So I will have lower decks. We'll have it out anyway. Hopefully over the weekend. If not, it'll be definitely Monday. We will have it out. We'll try fit it in somewhere. If Lee hasn't booked on anybody else's stream, we'll have to see. But he is guesting with me tonight, so let's bring him on. It's Problem Being. Hold on, there we go.
Howdy doody.
How are you? Technical difficulties we've already had.
Well,
by the way, if you do have questions for me and Lee, this is your chance. You know, let's listen. The channel's anniversary is coming up soon as well. Woo! Normally, you see the YouTubers do a Q&A. So I was thinking, why not? So I'm going to do a Q&A on the anniversary of the channel. So you can get if you ever have a question that you wanted to ask me, but you've never thought of asking me, or basically were afraid to ask me, this is our opportunity to ask me anything. It could be Doctor Who related, or it could be anything, right? Obviously to a certain degree, I'm not going to get too personal. I think I've being personal enough on YouTube to use all. So I mean, but if there are any questions like, stupid questions like what's your favorite color, or what was your favorite piece of music, or stupid questions like that. So yeah, when the anniversary, I think it's next month. Yeah, no, not September, October. But it's the start of October. I think it is. So the anniversary, I'll have to double check that, but there's an anniversary coming up, so we're going to celebrate it actually, because it is worth celebrating. I've put a lot of hard work into this channel. I have seen stuff over Twitter, people saying, and it kind of has annoyed me, these people saying that I haven't earned me place on YouTube, that I've basically, I've gotten help.
Projection much.
I will say this though. Well, I will say this: is are half true, is are half right, and is are half wrong. I have never denied that I've gotten help to get where I am, but don't for 1 second think that I haven't worked hard to get here, because I have. I have gotten help, and I've been very lucky that I've gotten big YouTubers like Gary from Neurotics and Ball Streck and even Doomcock supporting me, and
because I believe in you.
As well, giving me a channel a shout out on Friday night tights and stuff like that. I'm grateful for all of that, and you know what? There's no shame, and I don't. It's like as if they're trying to shame me. Don't you listen?
Yeah, but they themselves have had help.
Of course, they get help, but I don't bring it up because at the end of the day, right? If there's a big YouTuber out there willing to help small channels like ours, I'm going to take that help. I'm not going to turn it down. Of course, I'm not going to turn it down. At the end of the day, we all want this channel to grow, right? And all of us to be part of that journey. Do you know what I mean? So listen, if I've gotten help off anybody, I've always thanked everybody anyway. And I don't hide the fact. It's not something to be ashamed of. But yeah, I'll just get into this straight away, this Philip Morris thing. So it obviously... I don't have the whole thread, but by looking at it, it looks like it was about classic Who and about the stuff that Philip Morris has been saying on Twitter lately. So this person replied back, as I said, I'm not going to mention any names, and then I'll give you Philip Morris's response. He says, yes, we need a break of you, such a terrible person, privating the world of watch Doctor Who lost serials. A part 3 web of fear teeth, right, is what he was called. And then he said in English, Sparto. Right? So then someone says, no, it's time to return the episode of Web of Fear part 3 you stole. And then someone wrote, then Philip wrote, I ate it, I was hungry. And then some other one said, teeth. So yeah, he's being attacked on Twitter. But it all stems to this account that's up on, that was highlighted on Rabbi's stream. And this account has continued to receive screen grabs. I'm not going to say they go and get the screen grabs, because you can clearly see by their bios they've asked people to go and get screen grabs. I'm not saying they don't do that themselves, but I'd say the majority is from people, right, that they've asked. See, what they don't realize is, right, they keep saying that they're not bullying anybody, right? And here, I said to them, who the hell do you think you are policing Twitter anyway? Who made you the Twitter police, you little Nazi? Right? Who made you the Twitter police? It's none of your business. And by the way, you're facilitating in the bullying and abuse that goes on. Because as soon as you put someone's screen grab up of their profile or whatever they've said, then what you don't realize is out of the 600 people that follow you, there's at least half, no, I won't say half, but there will be a few in there that can't resist to take a pop. And that's what happens. You know how many people I had to block yesterday because of a tweet you retweeted? 17 people. I blocked 17 people yesterday because directly of what you put up responding to one of my tweets. It's none of your business. You're not the Twitter police. Who the hell do you think you are? All right. And then you spoke about someone that said something bad about a certain YouTuber out there. And we told you that we disavowed this guy. But you wanted to bring all that back up again, right? And you retweeted the tweet. And then you thought you were being smart coming back at me. But I thought you disavowed it. Yeah, I did. But we already spoke about that. We have moved on from that. We've basically told that person to get a grip, sort themselves out and stuff. And the YouTuber in question actually thanked us for coming out and disavowing this person. You just wanted to bring it up again, and that was the point. So I'll ask you again, who made you the Twitter police? It's none of your fucking business what I write or what anybody else writes on Twitter. Who the fuck do you think you are? All right? And another thing as well, we've got this other gobshite as well, who's just a Jodie Whittaker fan. And apparently now, I have the tweet there. I can't show you, but this person has said that they're going around YouTube and they're mass reporting any video they deem a Jodie Whittaker hate.
Oh, just like your typical fascist.
Yeah. So now, basically, right, because the way they look at my videos, obviously they think that, you know, that every video I do is a hate video on Jodie Whittaker. So can you imagine how many videos are going to be actually reported on
Matrix Lord,
aware of this on Twitter?
Matrix Lord, the other day after we finished streaming with the rabbi, said that he had people report bombing his YouTube video, his videos, including one where he was eating a donut.
Yeah.
Eating a donut is problematic.
Yeah, he ate a donut. Actually, sorry, I'll rephrase. He ate a black donut, right? Because in America they do all these weird, different colored donuts and different flavors. Like we're starting to get them over here in the UK and Ireland. really weird flavors. But like he was, because he ate a donut and because it was the wrong color, he offended someone. Go and get a grip, you bunch of fucking weak-minded, bleeding, insecure idiots. That's what yous are. Yous are insecure, right? And yous are weak-minded. That's the problem with yous. And because yous are so insecure about yous yourselves, right? Yous are projecting yous are insecurities and all yous are nonsense onto the rest of us, right? Go and start your shit out like we've all done. Yeah, life is hard. It's gonna smack you down, yeah. But it shows how fucking how strong of a person you are. You could pick yourself back up again, scrape yourself off. Do you know how many times I've been down the bottom of the barrel? Loads. I've gotten so many knockdowns, right? During my professional career as well. When I was working in kitchens as a chef, right? I got so many knockdowns. I was always told I was no good at shit, right? But I went out there and I proved everybody wrong. I didn't give in, right? But I didn't expect everything to be handed to me. I worked hard for everything that I got. And this is what the problem is with this generation. Not all of them, but most of them. Yous are weak-minded, right? Yous are insecure about yourselves, the way yous look, what yous are dead. Just get over, just sort yourselves out, and yous will find that the world is not only, it's not just bad. There's good out there as well. Beautiful things happen every day. Every day.
It makes you wonder what they're missing in their lives when they have to focus so heavily on other people's lives.
They are missing a lot. Start spending. Listen, they criticize me. Yeah, okay, fair enough. You have a point. Yeah, I do spend a lot of time on social media, but so do you guys. Get out there and enjoy our lives. There's more to social media than, you know what I mean? There's more to life than social media, right? And these people, they think that they're doing some sort of service, like by putting these screen grabs up, and then they take no responsibility. You take no responsibility for the fact that when you put that up, you're facilitating people to go on then to bully me, to bully whoever, right? And that's what happens. That's what happens. And I told you, I did unblock you, and I'm gonna be keeping an eye on you. I'm going to be keeping an eye on you because you're not getting away with this. You're not going to stay. You cannot for 1 second think that you're not facilitating, and you know you are. You know you are, and you've got to stop. And you're going to be pulled up every time. Every time you're going to be pulled up because nobody is pulling you up. Actually, there are a few on the so-called Jodie Whittaker side that don't like your tactics, by the way, because they said you're actually adding to the drama, which you are. And that's why you set up that account in the first place. But I'm sorry, this side is not, this so-called side.
But I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand why they feel that they have some sort of moral duty, but it's like they don't practice what they preach. I mean, the disgusting things that they've done and said to you, the things they've said about your friends and innocent people like Daniel, for example. I mean, all this stuff that was levied, at Tardis, for example, and we disavowed, which we disavowed, and then for them on their side to come and say things about Daniel. I'm sorry. How does that equate to anything?
Listen, I moralistic about Daniel last night. Now Daniel has texted me, and we've spoken. Right? But I just want to say, if you stoop to that level where you have to go after what you perceive as the weakest link, because I can tell you fucking something now about Daniel, right? Yeah, Daniel ain't no weak link. Daniel will rip you the fucking shreds. Right, Daniel is. Listen for a minute, right? We've had Daniel on in the early part. You watch the early part of my channel, and you watch Daniel. Trust me, Daniel ain't no weak fucking link. I told you idiots before. If you got a problem with that, and I say, you come to me. Yeah, going on to Daniel's stream or going on to someone else's stream just to have a pop at Daniel because he happens to be in a wheelchair is totally fucking disgusting. And then you have the other chap on the other side, then. Screaming when it happens to him, right? Which is fine, fair enough. But where was everybody to stand up for Daniel? You know what I mean? Nobody.
Right? Yeah, we disavowed everything that was said and done to Tardis. But they're not doing the same. They're not doing the same
Yeah.
when it comes to Daniel. Why not? Why are they not speaking out?
Why isn't this account calling that crap out? Right? If you're going to do what you're going to do, why not actually go and actually start highlighting your perceived so-called side and the behavior of your side too? Why not give a balanced view? That's why I have the main problem with it, right? It's because you don't even give it, and you shouldn't even be doing it anyway. To be quite honest with you, I think it's a bit dodgy. But if that's what you're going to do, fine. But why not do a balance, right? Because if you're telling me that the other side's all innocent, right? There are plenty of screenshots on my account. There are plenty of screenshots on Lee's account. There's plenty of screenshots on all my friends' accounts of the vile behavior of your so-called side, but yet you never highlight that. You never highlight that. Yeah, you're right, Chris. It's because they're hypocrites. And that's all we get in this fandom is hypocrites. Imagine, right? There's another fan out there as well. I won't mention his name either, but he has been one of the biggest voices supporting Jodie Whittaker. But yeah, he had a problem with a black woman playing Hermione, the Harry Potter character. Listen, I can't pronounce her name properly because I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but you know who I'm talking about. She was played by what's her face, English actress. She's grown up now. Emma feckin', what's her name? Emma. What's the feckin' young girl's name in Harry Potter?
Emma Watson.
Yeah, Emma Watson, right? So they replaced her character with a black woman, but he can't understand that narratively. So this is what I said yesterday, right? I read it on Rabbi's channel, so I'll read it here for you just in case you didn't hear it, right? So the tweet from this person was, not being racist, but how can a black woman...
But, not being racist, but.
yeah, right? And it says, this play has lost all credibility, right? So my response, and just bear with me for a second because I'm going on to my Twitter account, but listen, seriously, some people say that on Twitter, they slag me for me writing and stuff, right? Slag me for the way I respond to people. But even I have to admit, this was probably the best response that I ever gave anybody on this. I'm not messing, right? So I wrote it, where is it? Down here, right? And I don't brag about tweets because, like, I have to admit, you know, even the phone is dodgy because when I spell some words, yeah, and then I send a tweet and then I realize, oh shit, there's about 50.
Well, you know, they're quite happy to mock people with disabilities.
Yeah,
and
I know, but I never.
You know, and they call you ableist. It's like it's hilarious. I mean,
yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I never ever. You know me. It's only in the last few weeks that I've told people that, yeah, I have I have disability, being smacked by a car and a bus on the same year, with a couple of months apart. You know, is going to do some damage. It annoys me, but I don't.
Oh, that probably makes them happy thinking about it.
It's not a badge of honor. It's not something to get me out of an argument either, right? You know what I mean? Listen, if I'm responsible for saying something, I don't use me disability. I don't say, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, but you do know I have such and such." You know, I don't. So this is what I said, and this is me best. I'm being honest. This is my best response in a long time. So I wrote. So let me get this straight. The BBC changed the gender of the doctor, but you are okay with that, even though narratively it makes no sense. But you have a problem narratively with a black woman playing Hermione, and you are right. You ain't racist, but you're a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's what he is. Oh, no, he's not racist. He's not, right? Because nobody out there, let's be honest, sets out to be racist or is racist, right? The majority of us, you know, take people at face value. Yeah, that's the way we are in society. Yeah, it's not some big mad conspiracy. We all have slaves in our houses and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like everybody does. Well, I do certainly anyway. Judge people. You know, I get to. You know, you don't judge people. No, I think I said that wrong. I take people at face value. Do you know what I mean? Okay, but I don't judge them.
You take them as you find them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant to say. Thank you, Lee. I'm glad I have you on to kind of let everybody know what I actually mean. So that's you know what I mean? This is what I hate about them. So this person then didn't like being called out, and then other stuff surfaced with which I won't get into, but other stuff surfaced that that I didn't know about, and then this person start going on the defensive. But this person was caught out quite nicely, and I don't think this person's going to pipe up again now because they know they've been caught out because
rumbled.
Yeah, rumbled big time. And that's why I made the decision to unblock that not my doctor account that's screen grabbing, because I want to see. I'm gonna do what they do to us. I'm gonna watch them now, and I'm gonna pull them up every time now. Right? We'll see how they like it now when they're the center of attention.
Well, look, I mean, I spoke to that person. I spoke to them in DMs, and they promised me that they would limit what they were doing. They understood. They said they understood the ramifications of their actions and what happens because of it, and that they can't just claim that they can't be responsible for their followers and what they do. Well, if you're given a ball, a red rag, and waving it around in front of them, you are giving them incitement. Okay, exactly. You're inciting them, and they promised that they would stop and limit what they were doing, and I respected them for that. I said, you're a decent person for doing that, and they couldn't even last a week.
No,
right? They went straight back to doing it within a few days.
And by the way, what did I say to you?
What can I do?
And I actually hate this because Lee genuinely did. Behind the scenes, Lee deserves a medal. Because I'm not just saying this, right? Because everybody needs to know what this chap does. He's behind the scenes, right? When he wasn't got his suspension on Twitter, he was genuinely trying to make peace with the other side because, he wanted all the nonsense to stop, like us all, right? But I did say to him, I said, you're wasting your time, right? He says, but it's worth trying.
You have to try. You have to try.
And you know what? I said, okay, you're right. I agree with you. But I was still skeptical. These people want the drama. And even if we ignore them, they're still dragging us into drama because someone then will actually tag us in the whole thread, right? And obviously if we're reading shit about ourselves, especially if it's, in my case, in some incidents, slanderous, of course you're going to react, right? Of course you're going to react. But I've got a new tactic now. I'm going to do what this person does. If I see anybody talking shit about me, I'm just going to retweet the tweets, and at the end of the day, if they come at me and say, well, you're doing that, and people are coming on, I'll say, right, well, okay then. Well, you cease what you're doing, and I'll cease what I'm doing. And that's the way I'm going to do it now. I'm going to play fire with fire. If that's the way you want to do it, then I'm going to do it that way. And trust me, there's only going to be one winner here. Right? You ain't going to, you do not have the moral high ground here. Okay? You are not the Twitter police. So mind your own fucking business what people have to say about Jodie Whittaker's character, the Doctor, and the TV show Doctor Who. If you like it, go and like it. If people want to dislike this era, they can dislike this era all they fucking want. You're not the fucking Twitter police, as I said, right? And stop acting like a little fascist Nazi, all right? Okay?
Well, I mean, it's quite funny that they go after Rabbi and saying that he's using Nazi tactics in his defense of his country, Israel, which is surrounded by countries that would love to see nuked out of existence, and that every dead Jew, especially a child Jew, is the best kind of Jew, a dead child Jew. I mean, listen, when they start saying, oh, well, if you defend yourself, that's kind of like using defense as an excuse, like the bad guys from Germany. It's like, well, yeah, and also that's really, really anti-Semitic, by the way. Israel has every right to exist and to defend itself. Listen, when you start saying that kind of thing to a Jewish person, you have a massive problem.
Yeah.
Not only that, your tactics to try and silence people and to try and get people banned, removed, all this kind of thing, that's very much a tactic that they would use.
Exactly.
Actually.
By the way,
that's fascism.
This
Thought
person
policing.
has highlighted Rabbi's tweets as well, and I will say this: how dare you? Right? You're not.
You don't know any Jewish people. You don't know anyone from Israel. You don't even know anyone from Palestine. So don't claim to know what the situation is in the Middle East. You have no idea.
I will say this because Rabbi put it nicely. Rabbi said
he voted for an anti-Semitic,
a peaceful solution, he'd gone for a peaceful solution. But you've got to understand, right, that when a race of people are poked so much, right, they're persecuted, right? There's only so much they can take before they retaliate.
Since Israel's inception as a nation, okay, and bearing in mind that Israel existed thousands of years ago before the Romans invented Palestine, okay, before when Israel was conceived, there were multiple attempts by the Israeli Jews to come to some kind of peace arrangement with Palestine and its leaders. Every single time that they tried to put forward a peace initiative, it was scuppered or broken by the Palestinians. Okay, yeah. They refused any form of peace treaty with Israel, including land sharing rights and all the rest of it. They just rejected it outright, multiple times. Check your history. Don't come in with your flag waving and your virtue signaling and your claims to know everything about Palestine. You don't. You know nothing about Israel.
But Rabbi has always said, right, because I will pick up for Rabbi, as he said, he has my back. I have his back, right? He is not pro-genocide, right? Because he actually
outrageous statement.
Extremists, bleeding knobheads.
Outrageous.
If there was a peaceful solution, he'd be for a peaceful solution. Because I can guarantee you this, that all the people want is a peaceful solution. And you know what? I know a little bit about what it's like because Northern Ireland, all right? You seen what happened in Northern Ireland, all right? I live in the Republic, Northern Ireland. Same kind of situation, religious bleeding tribes, the whole lot, Celtic, ancient names, ancient families. All up there, the north, you had your nationalist side, you had your Protestant side, and you seen what happened up there during the 70s and stuff. Everybody's seeing it. Bombs going off left, right, and centre. And now look at the north of Ireland, right? Two peoples that were warring with each other for hundreds of years. And lately in the 70s, obviously, decades, we'll just say decades, right? Finally came together and decided that enough people, that death wasn't the solution. That peace was the only solution. And look at the north now, right? How many years has there been peace up there? Yes, there's a bit of tension up there right now at the moment. Obviously there is with this fucking bear bug, and the whole thing with Brexit kind of fucked it all up now with this border and no border and all this crap, right? They don't want it. People of Northern Ireland have moved on. Wanted peace. Do you think that Rabbi and people that live in Israel don't want peace? Of course they want peace. Everybody wants peace.
Yeah, Israel doesn't use schools as a human shield, okay? They don't hide missiles and things and Scud missiles behind schools, okay? They don't do that. Listen, Israel is a democracy surrounded by autocracies, okay? It's surrounded by very sort of like kingdom type places. It's very feudal. They've got gang warfare sort of between them, power struggles. It's unstable territory. And not only that, where's the outrage? Where's the outrage from these people about the crimes committed by Palestine? Where's the crime and the crimes committed by the countries surrounding Israel that want to see Jews dead, that want to see homosexuals murdered, that wants women to wear the hijab and all the rest of it. And where's their rights? Why are you not virtue signaling for these people and their rights?
Because it's not the right kind of
it's because they're anti-Semites. That is why.
I know. Right, let's do a few shout outs, Lee, right? Because there's a few people, there's actually a lot of people watching as well, believe it or not. But we got Daniel here, we got Charlotte, the Magic Duo. Hello. We got Chris here.
Oh, we lost you.
To see you popping in a lot of the streams lately, pal. Nice to see you.
You disappeared there for a bit. So
did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, disaster area we have. We got Gary here. We got you here, Lee. We might as well give you a shout out as well. We got Maz1 here as well. Welcome, Matthew Jones. Don't worry, we're not going to stick with the politics. We're going to move on. We're just highlighting the fact that these people
the stuff that was said against the rabbi was revolting.
They haven't clue what they're talking about.
They don't have a fucking clue.
Yeah,
period.
Educate yourself first before you
go and look at the history of Israel and actually speak to some Jews, maybe.
Yeah, we got Gary, we got Rachel, we got Leland here as well. It's nice to see you, Leland. Matrix Lord is here. Matrix Lord probably sent me a bleeding message. If you did, let me know if you did, and I'll add you in, because I did ask you if you wanted to join. Sorry, I left my phone in the bleeding sitting room because the dog Captain Trek we have, and he says at the Tardis Zone YouTube channel, hello. Nice to have a Trekkie here. We will be doing lower decks, as I said. We'll have a over the weekend, hopefully. Sadako24 is also here as well. Well, they'll attack Philip. Listen, me view on Philip Morris is, right, he is tweeting stuff out there to kind of deliberately rub up the other side. Do I blame him? Really? No, I don't, because he was picked on a few weeks back, right? This man has done a lot. Listen, he has done a lot for this fandom, and he deserves respect, but he's not getting it off the other side. He's a sexist, bigot, racist, like us all, right? He's been branded like us all, right? They keep calling him a vile person. I wouldn't be surprised if he receives other stuff as well. To be honest with you, it's totally disgusting. The man does deserve our respect, because without him, we wouldn't have the animations that we have. We wouldn't have the classic stories that we have if he hadn't have done what he done.
So where's this information that he's deliberately suppressing and hiding an episode?
I know, yeah, that's the first time I've heard.
Where's the evidence for that? Well, I mean, where's this rumor?
Actually, I would, but if there is, I'd like to see the evidence. Show me the evidence. If you have evidence, show me the evidence.
As one of the YouTubers out there is so commonly known to say, where's your citation?
Exactly. Pop Culture Avenger is here as well. We love you. Are you going to avenge the destruction of pop culture, though? That's what we need to know. That's what we need to know. We've got Backwolf 66 here.
Hail.
Hail. That's it. Hail, hail. The Adventuring Nerd is here as well. What adventures did you go on lately? Let us know. We got Disaster Area. Jesus, get out of there, mate. Get out of there. Richard Martin. Welcome.
Does Matrix Lord want to come on then, is he?
We'll see. We're getting closer down to the end of the chat. If he does, I'll send him the link. We've got Kip Ellis as well. Welcome, Kip. Reminds me of Kippers. Nice fish, by the way. Super John.
Love a bit of Kipper.
Yeah, same here. I do. It's been a while since I had it.
Yeah.
Now Kipper now is fucking bounce. Too many bounce.
You just have to eat it the right way.
I know. Oh, we've got Lee Anthony Davis here. And Lee Anthony Davis will probably have something on his channel tonight, maybe a quiz or something else. Let us know in the chat there anyway. We got Carl here as well. Welcome, Carl. Nice to have you here. Who else have we got? I think now we've got everybody. If I've missed anybody, we got Ben. Ben is here as well. And I think that is the last name. If I have missed anybody, let me know. I don't see a comment from Matrix Lord there now since I called him name now. So if you're still in the chat and you want to join us, let me know, and I'll keep an eye on the chat. Let you know. Let us know. I'm getting confused now. Yeah. So yeah, that's everybody. So Is there anything actually you want to highlight or want to talk about?
Well, just what else can I do? I've made appeals to people to try and come together, focus on the things we love about the show. Let us have our own gripes. You've got your own gripes too. That's fine. Like I said before, if you want to talk to me, talk to me. We can. I mean, at the moment, I'm on a suspension from Twitter for defending 90-year-old William Shatner from a bunch of lunatics who insist that he is a cis white man, and that is somehow not a slur. And Twitter saw it fit when I showed evidence of how it's used as a slur against homosexual people like myself. That it's a slur that should be absolutely rejected. Like TERF was a slur that was often argued as being just an acronym, and it was scientific, and it's not. You have to reject this postmodernist interaction where they try and insist that these words are not loaded with meaning when they are. And yeah, I got suspended from purely defending someone else once again, from people who think they have the moral overlord duties to re-educate us with their nonsense. And I'm sorry, I'm not having it.
Right. As you can see there, we're only 46 minutes in, just to prove to everybody, because people do say that I
lied. We said the bad guys from Germany word. So
there you go. So it's limited. And I wanted to see, so I'll request a review, yeah. And the thing is, right, I'll actually win the review because I win them all. It's just
it takes months.
They're just we proved that as well. We've got who else have we got in the chat? We've got Dr. JFH.
Dr. 1970.
1970. Welcome. Right, yeah. I mean, look, just we'll draw a line under this, but I'll just say lastly on it, it's like the kind of behavior that's going on, and that's going on.
It's childish. It's narcissistic projection, and it's got to stop.
To stop, because you're
hurting people. You're actually hurting people.
You're doing it deliberately because you want to get a reaction out of this side of the fandom, or this so-called side of the fandom, to make this side look even worse. And even doing that makes you a scumbag, in my opinion. Sorry, but that's what you are. If you're inciting other people, and that's what you're doing, because as soon as you put those posts up, that's what happens. Every time I get some little idiot coming onto my Twitter account, and I've already said I'm going to block idiots. I'm just not going to block you, but I'll block everybody else. I'm going to keep an eye on you, because you can't be getting this behavior.
They can't be trusted. If they lied to my face, in DM, they lied that they were gonna curtail their activities and not do this, and they choose to completely turn around and just continue to do it again within 3 days. It couldn't even last a week. So I mean, these people are without any form of conscience whatsoever.
Well, Jack Main has the right attitude, but it's also sad that you say it as well, that we have gotten to this point. But I totally agree with you. I can't wait until Doctor Who brings joy to all people again. Yeah. I'll be the showrunner in 2030. Well, listen, mate, I'm serious here. I wish you the best luck. If that's what you want to do with your career, if that's what your path that you want to take, I wish you all the best. And I hope you do get yourself.
Can't do any worse.
I do hope you get yourself into a position where you can maybe one day write for Doctor Who and actually show the BBC how it's supposed to be done. Listen, you do make a great. All we just want is Doctor Who to bring joy to everybody. And unfortunately, this current era of Doctor Who doesn't bring joy to everybody.
No, I mean, over half the audience have gone. I mean, how much clearer can it be?
Well, we have the spin doctors out
and
there.
And that's not just in the UK, that's everywhere else,
Yeah. I look. I just want to be
Struggles to
able
get 300,000 viewers in America.
Yeah, I just want to have the same feeling that we have when we watch classic, when we get sucked in, and when we watch the new Who watch alongs. Now, all right, granted, last week's episode nobody really liked, but I really enjoyed Love of Monsters. I actually didn't speak that much last week. If you actually go back, that was the least amount of time I actually spoke during the tweet along. Watch along, because I was so engrossed, because I love Monsters. People can criticize me very well, I don't care. It's one of those. It's, I love it for what it is, and I think a few people were won over last week. Not all, but some were won over. So it was that's what the kind of idea of these is as well, because we have watched some episodes, and even Rabbi has admitted himself that some episodes that at the time he thought were meh, and then he watched them a second time, and yeah, he liked them a lot better than he did. But I can't wait until we get to season 3 and season 4, because for me, that's the right. Season 2 was great and all, right? I just think the two-parter. I'm sorry, I'll be criticized for this, but I have to stay consistent to when it aired at the time. And when it aired at the time, I was disappointed. You have the Daleks and the Cybermen, and okay, you use the Cybermen in a clever way, but the Daleks were kind of a afterthought in the whole story, if you know what I mean. They came out of that Genesis arc thing, and then there was they came out and they're all over the place. But
I think the best bit about that story is when the Daleks are facing the Cybermen, and there's a bit of sass going between the
two. Yeah, that is good.
That's funny. That's funny.
Is good. But I didn't like the whole thing with the Cyberman, the Cyber lady, remembering that she was Torchwood lady, and she's there. I did it for Queen and Country, and the tears. I thought that was a bit much, and I didn't like the whole See, this is what I felt uncomfortable about. Billy Piper's character, Billy Piper's character, Ross. Sorry, yeah. Why am I getting confused? I'm getting old.
Right, Boomerang.
Right, so Rose was willing to leave her mother. I've had 18 and 19 years with you, or whatever it was. And blah blah blah. And I'm gonna stay with the doctor. Now you have dad, blah blah. So fuck you, basically, right? Okay, and then we had the whole thing then where she comes back, and then the doctor, she floats away. Now I did thought I was hoping, she got through, she'd be stuck in the void, and that's the ending I would have liked, but we didn't get that ending. Pete Tyler comes, saves her, great, our parallel universe dad saves her. Right, and then she has this whole thing up against the wall, and she's crying, and he's up against the wall, and I was like, just bleed and go, will you? You're done. You left the show. We don't need
you heartless bastard.
And then we get the whole scene at the bleeding fucking beach, and I love you. I know. Yeah. And if this is the last time I'm gonna say it, Rose Tyler, and I was like, that part was sad, actually.
I think at that point I was glad it was over.
To say, right? And I remember at the time, even fans back then, the hardcore fan weren't happy with the whole romance thing. And listen, we get criticized, right, when we see the Whittaker fans shipping Whittaker and Manny. Here, actually, that's what we will talk about for the next few minutes, because this is it. This is interesting, right? So, see, they want the Doctor and Yasmin Khan to hit it off, right? But in 2 seasons, show me any evidence, right, of the writing and the character development that actually
well, half the time she doesn't even notice when she's not there. I mean, exactly. Yaz, she's like, right. She doesn't even know where her companions are half the time.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So where did these fans make the connection? Now, apparently there's a line in Arachnids, isn't there? Where
something like where she goes, are you two a couple then? And the doctor, cosplay doctor says, are we? I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it's just like, really, that's the thing that they've
Right.
latched onto.
But there is a line then later on, if I remember, where she categorically says that Yaz isn't, she's no interest in her, right? So there's no interest there, right? So where are you getting this from? Where is this imaginary romance coming from? Because listen, all I'll say, and it's not because we're homophobic or anything like that, right? And Lee will even back me up on this one, right? There is no basis for it, right? So if they do it, right, people in the LGBTQ plus community, right, look at this, right. In fairness, if you are okay with this, well, then I'd be very disappointed in you, because this is just clearly pandering.
Well, how it transpires really is this. Look, the Doctor and Rose had a thing. They had an emotional connection. Listen, the Doctor was PTSD right after the Time War. He fell in love with a human, and then he realized really quite too late, after he'd sort of got infatuated, was that it's never going to work. He's an alien that lives for thousands of years, and he's not going to be able to be with this person for their lifetime, and to grow old with them and to die with them, and like it would be like dating a mayfly. You know, it's just not going to happen. And he understood that. He's never going to do it again. He's never going to fall in love with a human again, because it's too much. It's too much heartache. It's too much of a tragedy when he knows that person's going to blink out in a moment from their life. And I think as well that not only is there no chemistry between 13 and Yaz, it's just like this whole question of, again, because the gender change, does that make them gay? Does it make them still straight? What is this?
Yeah, we had
and it's the whole thing that they want to create. They painted themselves into a corner, and now they want to, you know, the whole shipping things to try and break this other glass ceiling that they want to break. And I had this discussion with another gay person on Twitter, and they said that hopefully that the next Doctor will be gay. And I said, no. Why? And then he thought I was being homophobic. I said, well, I am a gay person, and it doesn't need to happen. And then he went on to say something about, well, the Doctor has no gender, no sex, no whatever. And I said, well, there you are then. So making them gay is meaningless. You know,
but
I like the fact that the Doctor used to be.
No character development, and
there's nothing there. There's no spark.
Or lesbian, obviously. But if I was or boy, if I was, I would be disgusted that BBC are pandering to me.
It is pandering. It is pandering.
It does no character development. Listen, if there was character development, right, even though I don't agree with a romance between the Doctor and a companion, it's where I've always stood on it.
Absolutely. No hanky-panky in the TARDIS.
Right? No, yeah, exactly. That's where that saying has came from, right? No hanky-panky in the TARDIS, right? That's
what sexuality.
That's why I always believe in New Who, the best companion Doctor duo was Donna and David Tennant's Doctor. Even the chemistry between Catherine Tate and David Tennant, you could see it. It was something different. It was brilliant. They bounced off each other so well, and even as their characters, they were brilliant. They were like an old married couple, but without the sexuality, the sexual tension there. There was none. You know, it was. I wouldn't even say it was like a brother-sister relationship, because it wasn't. Because you could see that there was genuine love between the two of them, but not in that kind of way.
I mean, look, let's look at it another way. Okay, here's a new perspective to give you. All right, let's just say there was a bit of an attraction between the Master and Missy. Imagine if they'd slept together, right? What the fuck would happen there? I mean, these are the things that, you know, because of the sort of Time Lord biology and the regeneration thing, and now that they can gender swap, which is a recent invention in the last series of Moffat's era, which was definitely not Moffat's idea. This was definitely from the BBC, from up on high, handed to him. He had to do it. There's no two ways about it. it opens up a can of worms that I don't think people have really thought through. And I think if you're going to make that a sole focus, like Terrence Dix once said, you're not looking at the right aims. I think it can open up a really big question mark over the character of the Doctor and Time Lords in general. And I just think it's if you want to go down that road, you're breaking really with the ethos of what Doctor Who's about. I don't think this kind of identity politics plays very well with this kind of storytelling. I really reject it. And I think the majority of fans reject it. We don't want to see the Doctor being used as a political platform. We don't deny that politics has been in Doctor Who forever, but not identity politics.
LGBTQ plus characters in Doctor Who, and they've done them the correct way.
Captain Jack is universally loved and accepted.
Yeah, Captain Jack is the perfect example.
Bill was perfectly perfectly great.
Another perfect example. That's what I mean. It's not as if we don't have a problem. Never have. You've got to do these characters justice because there's people out there that want these characters to represent them properly.
Not as devices.
Hasn't done it. He's a disgrace. And they keep bringing this up as a point of reference.
Well, he keeps fridging. He fridges them. Series 11
on in Resolution of the Daleks.
Yeah.
Is it Revolution or Resolution?
Yeah,
Resolution of the Daleks, right? And it's literally the guy comes on. I'll be boyfriends waiting for me back at home, and
boom,
the
dead.
20 seconds on.
And not only that, in Arachnids in the UK, there was a lesbian girl who was there, and she just said that she was a lesbian, and then she got killed almost immediately. And then he had to apologize, inverted commas, in the next series by having a whole story featuring two gay men together. And it just reeks of pandering. It reeks of it. And it's just done in the most slapdash kind of way. It doesn't really think about it. It doesn't move the story along. I mean, if you look at Doctor Who, you don't generally look at characters. I mean, you're stretching way back and you think, well, are they heterosexual? Are they gay? Does it fucking matter? Yeah. No.
I'm going to read this.
Stop making it matter. It shouldn't matter.
Lee Anthony Davis with a $9.99 super chat. Lee, maybe you'll be able to help me with this because I don't know what's happening here. He says, "Hello, Noel. I need your help. My YouTube link is not working properly. I wonder if you can help people to find it, as problem being a bad wolf have told me the link doesn't work. I would appreciate it."
What
is the link for his latest video?
Is it up? Is it in the chat?
If someone could in the chat, I think Chris is there. Chris, could you do us a favor and put the link to Lee's channel in the chat, please? Apparently, he's saying the link is not working. Sometimes that does happen. If you can put the link in, but it doesn't go in correctly. So if you could do that, or and throw in his latest video as well, I'd appreciate that. But you didn't have to send a super chat, pal, to say that to me. You could have just wrote it in the comments there, pal. But
that's very kind.
But thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it, pal.
There you go, Chris, looking into it.
Going to look into it for you there. And Bad Wolf, I think, has put the channel up, though. I think that's your channel.
There you go.
So yeah.
Which channel is that, Bad Wolf?
Let me know in the normal chat if that link actually works, Lee. You don't have to send another super chat there, pal.
Let me just click on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes straight to the Anthony
there. And
Davis.
Bad Wolf's put your latest video up as well. We got Matthew Jones in the chat as well. Welcome, Matthew. And I did see who else did I see in the chat? She said hello to us. Your pal on Twitter, Lee. Our pal on Twitter, I should say. Bagpuss.
Oh, hello, darling.
Elaine Bagpuss is here.
Bless her. Hello, sweetie.
Lee be back soon. He's just
it'll take another month probably. It took me a month last time, and then they came back and said, "Oh, it was a mistake, and you got report bombed." Basically, not in those words, but it was something. But basically, that's what happened. Some fanatics had decided to gang up on me and
have
me suspended.
Yeah,
it's happened again. See, they don't like people questioning their ideology, and once you do, they all club together and they misuse their power, basically.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, though, right? They might be doing that, but Twitter agrees with them, so Twitter is the problem as well.
Absolutely. And I called this out. I said this. You have to condemn this for everyone, and you have to make it clear on what premise this is happening. I think because they're so overwhelmed at the moment, particularly with the beer bug, that they don't have enough people to deal with it. So these people are fully aware of how they can get away with it and keep you off the platform for as long as possible, whilst they still go off and bully a 90-year-old man who's given so much joy to so many hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of people over his career. And
I'm watching the original series now with him, and it's just such a joy to watch Shatner
he's class. He's stoic. He's so stoic. He doesn't take any crap.
Brilliant. And I've got the updated effects on it, and it just look. I know some people have a problem with the updated effects. They say the Enterprise doesn't look as real.
It looks great. It looks great.
I think it looks absolutely fantastic. It's beautiful, right? And the way they've restored it, absolutely beautiful.
It's sympathetic to the original. That's what I like about it. It's not too souped up.
Some of these stuff, I'm telling Cheryl will tell you, right, when she goes to bed, right, I normally put the PlayStation on. That's what I used to do. But lately, these last few weeks, I've been putting on the original series, and I've been watching
the original and best series of Star Trek.
20, I think there was 20 odd episodes in season 1. I'm on season 2. I'm 8 episodes in.
Season 2 is the best.
Season 2, I just finished watching the parallel universe one where
excellent. Everyone evil's got a goatee.
The evil Spock ends up helping him at the end because he wants his own captain back, but then the Air Captain Kirk then tells him, listen, you do know your Captain Kirk has a machine that makes people disappear and all, and it takes one man to start a revolution and all. Try to get Spock to stand up to his counterpart. I thought, yeah, that's brilliant.
Brilliant. Season 2, the original series.
It's fantastic. And again, that show gets slated for being sexist and stuff. Strong women all the way through this series. Yeah, you do have your eye candy women in it as well, but some of them are actually strong.
Well, listen, the costumes, for example, I mean, the modern moral pearl clutchers out there on Twitter don't seem to understand that the miniskirt in the 60s was a symbol of female empowerment. Yeah, it was actually the feminists who came up with the miniskirt.
I know, that's what
I mean.
Men. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And look, absolutely, I don't know what it is about reliving this series.
They don't even know their own history.
But it's just brought so many good old memories flooding back to when I watched back in the day. It's so sad. I really have to say, it's so sad that so many people out there just want to be offended.
Yeah.
All you have to do really is, if you don't like these programs, that's fine, fair enough. Just don't watch them, but don't ruin it for everybody else that enjoys them. And that's the problem I'm always
having. But they'll say the same to you about Doctor Who, even though they're the minority.
Leave us alone. We you're trying to take away something that brought us joy and replace it with something that makes us miserable. And that's what you are doing. You aren't even the entertainment industry do not entertain us anymore. Remember the good old days. I've said this plenty of times, but it's so true. The good old days when we used to sit down and watch TV because, we might have had a bad day, and then we put on our favorite TV show, and for that hour, we're transported away, and we forget about our worries. Yeah? Now everything is like, well, life is shit, so we're going to include it in, and the world is ripping itself apart. Society is ripping itself apart. So what we'll do is we'll start hammering those politics into the shows, and you won't be able to
Well,
escape
this
from it
is
now.
isn't
So
this
what
is
is
the
their
thing.
escapism now? So what are we supposed to escape to? Sorry, Lee, because this is important. What are we supposed to escape? How, right, for all the pressures of real life, right? And all the dramas and all the it's not all bad, but you do have your bad days. What am I supposed to do to escape from that now? When I turn on entertainment and I'm preached to, I'm told I'm a horrible bastard because I'm a white guy, right? You see tweets up on Twitter, women going around and saying, well, if you're a white cis male, you're nothing but a rapist and this, that, and the other. And trust me, that kind of stuff does go on Twitter. I've even did videos last year and before where I highlighted some people were saying that we should kill all male babies. There was actually a girl on Twitter that actually said last year that all male babies should be sacrificed.
Yeah.
And should be ordered.
And her channel is still there, not suspended. I'm suspended. She's not suspended.
Exactly.
So that tells you all you need to know about Twitter. Listen.
It's ridiculous. I just want to, sorry, Lee, I know you want to say something and I will, and I'll shut up.
That's all right.
But all I want to do is I want to be able to watch TV and escape from the pressures of life. Okay, and I don't even have that anymore. So I'm trying to ask people, what is my out? What is my release to get away from that? I don't have it anymore. Well, I do if I go back and watch old TV shows, but I shouldn't have to go back and watch old TV shows. Yes, it is nice to go back and look at the past, but we should be looking towards the future and making TV shows and movies that entertain. And I'm not saying that they don't. There are some movies that seep through that do entertain. There are some TV shows that seep through and entertain. Unfortunately, they seem to be a small number now. It's just all about either identity politics or now it's going to be obviously with this whole Black Lives Matter movement that's going on. You're going to see it now. The next few TV shows, the next few movies. And listen, again, I'm not saying I have problem with that. The problem that I have is it's going to be forced. It's going to be forced, and it's
well.
not.
Listen. This feeds into what I want to say. This feeds into what I want to say.
Right. Well,
the BBC, for example, they want representation, they want inclusion, they want diversity. Fine, great, but how many Black conservative voices? How many gay conservative voices? How many trans conservative voices do exist within the BBC? The BBC is fundamentally talking about representing the demographic of Britain, although its actual targets are double what the demographics are in Britain, actually. But regardless of that, they are overrepresented by activists, okay? Extremely left-wing, not liberal, extreme left-wing Marxist kind of ideology. I would never get a job in the BBC, not because I'm gay. Obviously, I would be welcomed with open arms if I was waving the rainbow flag like a crazy person and demanding my rights and all the rest of it, which I've already got. But I won't get it because I'm not on board the gravy train. I'm not on the oppression Olympics gravy train where I want my rights and I'm oppressed and therefore I should have my my voice heard and I should be represented on every single TV program all times 24/7 to satiate my desire for my narcissistic worldview. No. And the problem is, when as I spoke to a particular YouTuber who was talking, and I was saying how divisive this policy was, and I ran rings around him on one particular point after he was constantly nagging me for citations on pretty much a philosophical question rather than a matter of metrics. But my question was, well, how many conservative? I'm not a conservative by nature. I am more attuned to them right now because the left has lost its fucking mind. And the most sensible people, the people who do not want to silence me, are on the right or centrist. Okay, so it's left me politically homeless. But I've now asked him okay, how many conservative or centrist voices are there in the BBC? And he said, oh, it must be something like 40, 60. So I asked him for citation.
Yeah.
And then he gave me a list of names. And in those list of names, about 5 or 6. Okay?
Oh, you said this on Rabbi.
Yeah. He said, one of them was the cast of The Apprentice were conservative voices. One show. One show. Hold on, like, thing's gone.
No, you're still here.
Oh, it didn't happen then.
No, you're still here.
Oh, yeah, it's my headphones. But yeah, so then he mentioned Andrew Neil, and then he mentioned the editor for the BBC News, who have both had their positions taken from them. Andrew Neil's lost his show, and I think the news editor, the conservative news editor, I can't remember his name, is not in his position anymore. Apart from that, there's no one else. I said the last question I left him with, which he never replied to, was how many new conservative or centrist voices have there been recently employed at the BBC? Zero feedback. And it's like, you can't just say diversity in terms of sexuality, gender, race, etc. You can't just break it down on immutable characteristics of a person. Okay, you need to break it down on things that matter, and things that matter are things like what you believe, what you think, what you say, and what you do. There's no representation there. There is only one gravy train, and on that train you must subscribe to the postmodernist doctrine of identity politics. It doesn't matter if you're straight, gay, trans, black, white, Asian, all the rest of it. If you're not subscribed to the oppression Olympics and the we must have representation on absolutely the most boring thing ever, which is immutable characteristics that no one can or should change, then you are denying the core principle of what people believe, which is the most important thing. How people think, their intelligence, their worldview. If you're silencing over half the population by saying we represent everybody in all the diverse groups, you are not looking at the demographic of what people actually believe on what they're currently voting for example. I think it's ridiculous.
Well, Lee,
yeah, and Alan Sugar, what is Labour?
You're gonna love this video from the BBC. I already showed you, but nobody on this channel actually seen it. This is hilarious, by the way. So BBC, obviously, you know, because of all the rubbish that's going on in society at the moment, with people, you know, absolutely losing their fucking minds instead of actually sitting down talking about the issues that need to be ironed out. And, you know, so we can move on as a society. But now people just want to burn buildings and stuff down. But BBC have decided to come out like most of the big organizations out there, and they come out with a 48-second video. And they have made a pledge to us all, especially the people that pay the TV license in the UK.
By force.
Right? Yes. We must stress that. So I want to play is this little video. I don't know if the sound will get me copyrighted. So
you don't need the sound anyway.
I'll play it without the sound, but I think there'll be just crap.
Well, we can talk over it, and
we'll talk anyway while we play through it. But I want to show you this video. We'll play it in full, and then we'll go back then if you want us to break it up, or we'll just talk about it, because Lee will have plenty to say about this video. And feel free, Lee, to comment if you want me to pause it anywhere. Let me know if you want to actually highlight something in this clip. Right, so here we go, folks. This is interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments as well, because I played this video. It's so funny.
All of us, right there. All of us. All of whom? All of us. Who's us? So it should represent all of us.
So they're taking action.
Well, it doesn't, because pause it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Commitment to inclusion. Fine. Okay, so a commitment to all of us. Okay, this is newspeak. Okay, this is straight out of Orwell's 1984 newspeak. Okay, when they say all of us as in who exactly? I mean, we've got Piers Wenger, who is the controller of drama at BBC, who has flat out come out and said he will not be hiring any white male leads in a TV role. Now, does that sound like all of us, or does it sound exclusionary? And this is how divisive it is. It shouldn't matter if you're right for the role. If something has been written specifically for a white man or a black man or so and so, whatever, should that script therefore be rewritten to change the race or gender or sexuality of a character so it can be aired, or deny that program from being created because of it? This is censorious, and this is not representative at all. Look, I have absolutely no problem with the demographic of this country, which is forever changing, to be represented. Absolutely right. It should be. It should be done absolutely naturally. You shouldn't even have to write this into any policy.
That's the funny thing.
It's ridiculous.
The whole situation, right? If you need to tell people to act a certain way, to behave a certain way towards certain nationalities and towards certain people with different beliefs, then there's something definitely wrong with you.
They're dividing people into groups, and once you do that, you dehumanize the human experience. You've relegated that to immutable traits, which should never be something that is challenged or mocked or not represented and all the rest of it. But you are solely focusing on that as your only main goal, and I think people see through that. I think that's why the BBC is in such trouble. Now, they're quite willing to spend £100 million of what they call our budget. Yeah. What they mean by our budget is your budget. You are paying for this. And not only that, you're paying this money. This £100 million is going to an organisation called Common Purpose. And these people are the ones that are doing the diversity training. It's a protection racket. They do not publish their minutes. They are a secretive charitable organization, so they're not even paying tax on that. Yeah, and so these people are
the industry with 100 million.
100 million. Really, 100 million is nothing.
Transform the industry. All they need to do is simple, right? They don't need to spend no 100 million on changing nothing, right? What they really need to do is
positive discrimination is discrimination.
Diversify and to include everybody. Well, then they have to start coming up with new TV shows, new stuff. You know what I mean? New platforms. You can set up workshops and stuff.
Here's a suggestion.
At the end of the day,
wait.
Go on.
Here's a suggestion, okay? And it will save you £100 million. Very simple. When you get CVs or resumes for our American friends coming into you, you get some Tipex. So you can probably spend a tiny fraction of that budget on Tipex, and you Tipex out after you've facsimiled them. You Tipex out the name, the address, and any personal detail relating to that person's gender or sex or race, anything that could give anybody a clue as to where this person comes from. I'm talking about not for on-screen talent, okay? I'm talking about positions, roles within the BBC behind the camera, okay? Or backstage, or in the hierarchy of the structure of the BBC, okay? Once you do that, then that's it. That's true equality right there, not equity. You're not focusing on things that are immutable. What you're doing is removing any prejudice that anyone may have based solely on immutable characteristics. And therefore, all the experience that person has is either right or wrong for the job, and they will be hired solely on their abilities, solely on what they present in their CV, without any information regarding their gender, sex characteristics, or race, sexuality, or gender, or whatever. Okay? You remove that entirely. And then all you've got is, are they qualified for the job?
Yeah.
And then that way, whoever applies will be given equal footing. And that saves £100 million of your money right there. And you get diversity because you don't know the race or the sex or the gender or the whatever of that individual. Okay, it's not blighted by any form of prejudice. The only prejudice left is whether or not they can do the job and what they've done in their careers. End of. Problem solved. And naturally, whoever gets the job will be right for the job, and it doesn't matter a jot who they are other than what they can do.
Exactly. And that's what
meritocracy is. Genuine democracy. It's genuine equality. So diverse programs in terms of immutable characteristics, again, not diverse programs in terms of diverse opinion.
Right, so to nurture diverse voices.
Unless, of course, you are not a postmodernist Marxist.
And work with diverse cast and crews. Actually, I will show you an article because it actually ties into that, because Noel Clarke has actually made a bit of a statement, actually. I was alerted to it. So he insisted on a whole cast and crew, or crew, I think it was, of all people of just basic, no, like what they used to say in the old days, no whites allowed.
Yeah, you know? that is not okay. That is not okay. You are discriminating. There are laws about this. Is racist.
So they have a responsibility to lead the way, and then we will get into that Noel Clarke article, but they have a responsibility. Yeah, you do. You actually are absolutely 100% right. As BBC, the national broadcaster, or whatever you want to call it, yes, it is your responsibility to lead the way, but not in the way that you're leading.
They're not leading the way. They are following the way of the activists. The activists that have infested.
They've said it.
This is a movement, not a moment.
Not a moment.
Boom. Right there. This is a movement. Who else says this is a movement? Activists. This is activist newspeak language. This is them saying we are activists.
It's time to write the script. Okay.
Yeah, just not right wing.
There you go. So, in that 48-second video, the BBC have clearly told the general population of
but they're activists.
UK where they stand, and we're going to get into this Noel Clarke. Actually,
listen, he can hire whoever he wants, but to make this exclusionarily prohibitive to any white people based on immutable characteristics through no fault of their own, surely through accident of birth, that they cannot apply to work for him.
Now, listen, I'm going to say,
of course, you're trans or gay.
I love Noel Clarke. Right?
Yeah.
Am I kind of pissed about this? Yeah, I kind of am. For the simple fact of the matter is that, you know,
it's prejudice.
And not only that, it's
prejudged.
That annoys me is that if this was, I'm not saying it's not an issue, right? And please do not misconstrue what I'm about to say here. But if it was such a problem, why has he only spoke up now? I don't get
the whole thing about race and sex and gender and all of this kind of stuff should not be any main focus for anybody. It should be, at this stage of our evolution, absolutely immaterial. What it should be about is this person the right person for the job? I mean, if we're looking at people's race and all these other attributes and nothing beyond that, you are denying the human experience. You're denying what lies behind the eyes of that person, the brain inside them. If you are denying someone on something that they cannot control, then you are, by default, prejudiced. And I'm not saying white people should just, have complete control over everything, and because it's a majority white country that they should. No, absolutely not. Again, that's thinking the wrong way. That's thinking sheerly in terms of race and color again, right? Not talking about that. I'm talking about, is the person right for the job? And nature will sort things out naturally. As I said, if you white out or black out, if you want to be loaded with these words, that if you just take out all the information related to anything that gives away their gender, race, etc., if you remove that from the process, then naturally you'll find the right person for the job, and whoever turns up on the doorstep the next day when they get the job is who you're getting. Okay, right, and it's purely by dint of who they are and what they can do and what they're thinking, how they present themselves, and you've blinded out any notion of any of these immutable characteristics completely. Yeah. So then naturally you will get diverse people.
Right. This is kind of ironic because the article is from Adam White. You will get why it's ironic now in a minute. Yeah. So Noel Clarke demanded more diversity after arriving on a TV show set to find an all-white crew. Adulthood actor previously said that racism is embedded in the British film and television industry. No. It's
not racist. No, let me finish. Let me make this one point. It's not racist. It's nepotism and cronyism. The BBC have done this time and time again. It just so happens that, yes, there are a lot of white people there in the BBC, not because of racism, but because it's people they know, it's family members, it's friends. The BBC has always been like this, always been like this. And it's not right at all. Absolutely agree with that. But it's not because of racism. It's because it's people they know, it's friends and family, and that's how you get a job at the BBC. It's always been that way. Now, that, if you're going to argue that this is nepotism and cronyism, I 100% agree with you. And if you remove that, then you remove that likelihood of everyone in that castle crew being white, because you are denying those people jobs simply by dint of who they know. Yeah. So it's a case of, as I said, you get a black marker or some corrective fluid, and you take out all the information that relates to their gender, the race, their sexuality, anything like that. You remove it completely, and then you don't know anything about the person you're hiring other than what they've done in their past, in their jobs, and in their career choices, in their hobbies, etc. Hey, if you want to play detective and work it out from that, knock yourselves out. But then if you do that, then you probably are the problem and you shouldn't be there. But hey, it's better than focusing on immutable characteristics and having to force these things, because it is prejudice. And the only way you're going to change the culture of the BBC correctly is by forgetting this nonsense about these characteristics and focusing solely on the merits of that person, and tackling cronyism and nepotism within the BBC. That is the main problem. To say it's racist is just flat out wrong. It's actually a culture of people knowing. Everyone knows this. Every fucker on the planet knows that the BBC is full of people who only got the job because they're related to someone who works there or because they are friends with someone who works there. And because most of these people in charge are white middle class people, they have white middle class friends and family, and they bring them in. It's not because of their race, it's because they know them.
Yeah.
End of.
Right. I've already read a bit of this article while Lee was actually going on a little rant. I love it though. But I'm at the seeing a lot of things here that I don't like actually. And he's a talent, but this is just so wrong. I have to be honest. So he says, Noel Clarke immediately called upon producers of his new TV show to diversify its crew when he arrived on set. The British actor would not name the series in question, but told Edinburgh TV Festival that he was unimpressed that the crew was entirely white and demanded quick action. I'm on a job now which...
Maybe he's racist.
No, but let me finish it. Right. I'm on a job now which I can't mention, and I came in on one day, and I am the lead actor, and I was like, the crew's not diverse enough. Fix it. Clarke recalled. They said, yeah, but I said I don't want to hear anything else. Fix it. I don't care if there's trainees, because this job's trainees is the next job's runner. Then the job's assistant. Then you're a supervisor. Then in 5 years' time or in 3 years' time, we have more people in the business from different backgrounds. So is that supposed to be
socioeconomic and not just
yeah?
But he's right about that. Listen, he's right about that. But again, this is not racism.
So you're getting rid of the professional people because they happen to be white, and you want to replace them with trainees. Like,
knock himself out. Go for it. Get the trainees in, and then see what fucking shit goes on down the line. Because you are being irresponsible.
Television productions to make permanent change in terms of diversity and representation behind the camera. We need to make sure that what's happening right now is not just a quarters hashtag, and in 6 months' time it's going to be something else. He said, I don't mind trainees, but we need to get people in at ground level. Change takes time. I do agree with that, but like you wanted, but you're replacing a seasoned production crew because you don't like the fact that they're all white, and you want to bring in these,
which is racist,
trainees. The trainees have to earn their position. They have to earn their place, like the other people did that you didn't like. They earned their positions there.
Well, not necessarily. Again, this goes back to what I just said. It's not necessarily that they earned their position. They might have been placed there because they know someone who got them the job at the BBC in the first place. Again, this goes right back to what I just said. It's cronyism and it's nepotism. So a lot of people there have relatives or family or friends who work high up in the BBC, and they get the jobs because they got a foot through the door. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Again, I'll go back to saying, if you remove the details from the CVs or resumes that intones that person is of a specific race or of a specific gender or whatever, you remove that from the facsimiles of the CVs, and then you present it to the head of HR, and they can only see what that person's done in their career and whether or not they fit the job role. End of. Then you've got nothing there to prejudice anybody. You're only looking at the facts, and you're removing any hint of who that person is in terms of gender, race, etc. So once you do that, you will end up with a naturally diverse crew.
Yeah.
Because hey, if they all turn out to be white, so be it. If they all turn out to be black or Asian, so be it. Doesn't matter. Are they right for the job?
He did say this now, that if this is true, this is totally disgusting though. He says in May, Clarke said that numerous UK TV channels refused to back his hit Sky One series Bulletproof because it was led by two black leads, and also suggested he was deliberately left off the poster to the British comedy film Fisherman's Friends.
What?
Wow.
Wait, I mean, where's the citation for that? Is there a link? Is that a link? I'd like to read that. Because, you know, it's a claim. It needs to be backed up. So we need to see if that's true, that's fucked up.
What's that? Why have I got sound? Don't be doing that. Hey, stop.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah, these adverts are auto sound. That's outrageous. I hate it when they do that.
They shouldn't be allowed to do that. They do
that because it makes you jump as well.
So people on here are acting like this is just a US problem, he tweeted at the time. Racism is prevalent here too, embedded in the fabric of society, the industry.
Didn't we have Desmond's in the 80s? Like that Channel 4 comedy, Desmond's? That was all black. And that was great. I love Desmond's. I mean, that was in the 80s. So are we saying that this problem wasn't there and then started again? And then
Lenny Henry wasn't very prevalent.
Lenny Henry.
He had his own show on the BBC, if I'm correct. And then didn't he host Red Nose? Wasn't a Red Nose Day? Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, listen, we don't know because we're not in the industry.
Listen, the majority of the people in this country, whether you like it or not, are white, and people want to see familiarity on their screens. I understand people want diversity and they want more inclusion on screen. Absolutely right. That's why I say hire the talent based on not the immutable characteristics, but on whether they're good for the job, and let nature sort it out. You know, you take away any notion of who these people are. If it's a presenter's role or something like that, the show's great. Doesn't matter whether or not they're diverse or completely black or completely Asian or completely gay or whatever. If the idea is good, let them put it forward. You know, and if it sells itself, take out anything that's relevant to immutable characteristics, and you resolve this problem. It won't matter.
I'm just at the saying something there. It's at the being sent to me again. I won't mention names though, but it's back to Doctor Who a little bit for just a second because this is actually funny, but it's also stupid. So retweet this, please. Lots of not my doctors have been vocal about the fact they want Doctor Who to go on hiatus. That's a terrible idea. Yet maybe this era may not be your favorite, but one day Doctor Who will end permanently. So why not at least just try and enjoy it while it exists?
Oh yeah. Let's just all sit back, turn off our critical faculties.
I've got a second part of the tweet to read. Don't.
God.
Just try. The Jodie.
We did.
Listen. The Jodie era has been tremendously positive effect on so many people's lives, but you're attempting to take that away from them. If you are not, if you are a true Doctor Who fan, at least
the old true Scotsman
before the Jodie era, then why not just be kind? Okay, number one, before Lee jumps in there, because I know he's hitting at and by the way, have a bit of airtime myself, so just give me a second for a minute because I'll this is funny, right?
Yeah.
We haven't been vocal about it going on hiatus actually. There are some fans out there, I will admit, would like to see the show go on hiatus. There's some that would go as far as to see the show permanently cancelled. That is true. But to say that it's not true. All we've ever wanted is the show to be great, and it's not. And you said be positive. Listen, we've watched the Jodie era, right? So
is anything but positive.
And okay, she might. I will not deny that she might have had her playing the Doctor had a positive effect on some people, right? But she's also had a very negative. This era has also had a very negative effect on 7 million households that basically decided to tune out.
Over half the audience.
Exactly. So
I'm not feeling positivity.
So unfortunately, you know, you want people to retweet this tweet because again, you're one of these people that wants to start drama because you know there'll be Jodie Whittaker fans that will see this and say, "Well, let's do something about it." So you're trying to wind your side up to take action against people that have a problem with this era. And with that, again, you're another little scumbag because this is what we're talking about. This is the kind of behavior that we talk about. You're deliberately trying to rile up the your side of the fandom to go against us. We do not want the show, and I'll make this clear. I did never want to see. Yes, there was a time where I was angry, and I said I'd rather see it go. But then I thought about, of course I don't. I love Doctor Who, right? I've been a fan all my life. It's a show that has had a positive impact on my life. So I get certain parts of your tweet there where you say that it's had a positive impact on some people's lives, right? I'm not going to deny that. But you can't be going around because people don't like it. Continuously try to rile up, as I said, your side to go after people, because that's what you're doing, and it's wrong. Enjoy it if you enjoy it. We don't enjoy it. Use praise this era all the time, and okay, I will say if some have attacked you because you have enjoyed it, that is wrong.
Yeah,
absolutely 100% wrong. But the thing about it is, you will find though that the majority of the nasty, vile behavior is actually from your side, and you've just proved
which is not positive, by the way. That is not a positive effect, by the way.
No.
And I'll just say this: look, you are asking us to put aside, and they're not my doctor crowd, okay? Once more, I have to say it: we do not use that hashtag, and we don't do that. Okay, that aside, you are asking us to put aside our critical faculties to just sit back, be passive, shut the fuck up, and let it roll all over us and just accept it. No,
that's not helpful.
We don't, because we still think, we still care enough to know when our show is being hurt by all of this. This is not Doctor. This is antithetical to the Doctor. The characterization of the Doctor is incredibly flawed. The storytelling is incredibly flawed. The characters are incredibly flawed. And not because they are flawed characters, which at least would be interesting. It's because they're badly written.
Yes.
Okay? We are not going to sit back and just watch our show disintegrate because you want us to stay silent. That is so selfish. You are being selfish, because over 7 million people, households have turned off because a minority are happy with it. Good for you. I'm happy that you like it. Great. We don't.
That doesn't mean because you like it, it's a success. That's the thing.
It's not, and it's not having a positive effect on the vast majority of this fandom. We live in a democracy.
Yes.
Doctor Who may not be a democracy according to Chibnall, but he has turned off fans and normies who just casually tune in off because they don't like being preached at, they don't like bad writing, they don't like terrible acting, they don't like bad characterization, and they don't like it. And to tell us to just conform, and you are seriously the worst advert for conformity I've ever seen. And look, Generation Xers like myself and Noel, we come from a generation that was wedged between the millennials and the boomers, right? The boomers got everything. They had everything handed to them. They had free education. They had the chance to buy council houses that they were living in, all the rest of it. And they drew that drawbridge up behind them. And then we, the generation that was called the forgotten generation, which is apt, were refused all of these. All the boomers took all the jobs, and they took away our free education, all the rest of that. Okay, we struggled. There were less of us in the Generation X because Generation Boomer, well, Boomer, there you are, there were a lot of them. So there was nothing left for us. And then the millennials came along, who were born in the digital age, or who spent their lives on the internet, spent their lives on social media, don't know anything else, who didn't know the world before, have come in, and now they have everything because they're the next boomer sort of generation, basically. They came along in large numbers, and we had to fight for everything that we had. So we are very hypercritical. Yes, true. We also scrappers. We had to fight throughout our entire lives And that's our
Exactly.
mentality. We are
We'll
cynical
always fight for what we
bastards.
believe in, and we'll always fight
And
for
we fight. We fight.
everybody. But that's the thing, we fight for everybody.
And we knew the world before it went social media driven and internet driven. We grew up between the analog world and the digital internet world. Before social media. We knew what it was like then. We grew up with Doctor Who in the 70s and 80s. We've seen it change. We were there supporting the show when it was in the hiatus for 16 years. We know how that felt. We know what that was like. We don't want it to go on hiatus, but I'll tell you one thing. If things do not improve, I would much rather it went on hiatus for another 16 years, if needs be, to protect this IP from further disintegration. And Chibnall is doing nothing more than destroying and disintegrating everything that the show is about. And I'm sorry you don't understand that. We've seen it when it was at its best. We've seen it before the new era. We grew up with the classic era. We've seen it change. We understand it. We lived through it for years, decades. Okay, we don't say these things lightly. You come along at like 11 to midnight, and you're dictating the terms that we should just shut up and just accept. No way. We fought long and hard to get Doctor Who back on TV. We supported Doctor Who when it was in hiatus the last time. And we've been here. We waited. We bought the shit. We kept it going. We kept the name alive. And when it came back, we were overjoyed. And then to see that now disintegrating back in the days when Colin Baker was in the role, and we saw it going to shit then. Listen, we don't want that to happen again, okay? The only difference now is that the BBC love it editorially, but the quality is sunk. Back then, the quality sunk, but the BBC didn't want it. And we were like, okay, look, we were sad to see it go, but we understood that it was losing its quality. It was improving towards the end. We wanted it to succeed. It got taken away from us. I know how it feels. We don't want it taken away from us, but I tell you one thing, if this thing goes on as it's going, the audience, the normies, the casual viewer, and the fans, the vast majority of the fans are turning away because they can't bear to see what's happening to it. If you don't understand that, you have no empathy. And it's a selfish thing that you're doing.
Statements like this from Chris Chibnall do not help. Doctor Who boss says he can't read reviews or online feedback, which is a lie. It's not a democracy, he says.
You should see what's been done in his name.
The clip, right? But you all have seen that clip that he's actually tried to bury as well, by the way.
Okay, it's not a democracy. Fine. Yeah, but you are a caretaker. Exactly. Right? Your job is to look after this IP and to see it through to the next person.
Exactly.
And not run it into the fucking ground because of some ideological quest you're on.
And look who it's from. It's from the show.
Shoe full of crap. Yeah.
Well, anyway, he says he doesn't. I'm not going to read this article because we did it before.
I'll tell you what is a democracy. Our wallets. Our set of eyes.
Right. He says he doesn't. Right. This is what I want to highlight. Because it was clear at the start of Series 12 Spyfall that he did read reviews because he inserted a line deliberately into that as an up yours to the fans that had a problem with his era. So he does read reviews, right? So, but the thing that annoys me, and here it is, in terms of external opinions, here it is here. It's not a democracy. We make the show we want to make.
And we soundly reject it. Right? That's democracy.
Now that alone, right? It just shows he's content.
Arrogant son of a bitch.
In other words, if Chibnall and his team listened to every single critic, complaining tweet or long-held fan wish, they'd end up making some nightmarish Frankenstein of a show.
No, they'd make decent Doctor Who.
Because Moffat was on social media and he'd get a lot of stuff and he'd actually take some of the fan ideas on board. By the way, actually, A perfect example of that is actually Sherlock in season 3, the start of season 3, where he added the fan theories about how Sherlock survived jumping off the roof. Right? He did it with Doctor Who as well. It's like, don't be giving me that crap. You won't get a nightmarish thing, because if you're a clever writer, right, which Chris Chibnall isn't.
Yeah, we've got a nightmarish thing.
You'll be able to siphon off what are the good ideas and what are the crap ideas. That's what a showrunner does, right?
Yeah,
That's
and Ben Wino in the chat says, ironic. He was very happy to review Pip and Jane Baker.
And then, of course, this idiot that writes the article says, sadly, this means Chris Chibnall definitely never reads this piece or any other like it. But hey, we can live with that. Well, I would advise him not to read your pieces, because your pieces are an absolute disgrace. To be honest with you, some of the stuff you've come out with, and there's the Team Tardis minus the old white male in Graham. I know Chibnall is an old white male, but I'd actually question whether he has a set of balls, to be honest with you.
On his chin.
But there we got the beautiful Manip, who complains on Twitter all the time about the things like pillows and privilege. And then we got Whittaker, who spoke about the white male gaze and how women sat in the corner, but she never obviously seen Xena, Princess Warrior, or Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And then we have Tosin Cole, who's going to actually be sensational, I predict, because he's got a new show in the US, and I have high hopes for him, and I actually think we're going to get to see the true talent of Tosin Cole, because I think
Tosin Cole, out of all of those on that picture,
is the most talented, but just
not only the most talented, but he knows. I think he knows he's been tokenized. I think he is like, well, I'm out of here. He's got a great opportunity ahead of him.
After Series 12, his attitude changed.
But look how they turn his character into a complete idiot. You know, and it's just like, oh man,
they didn't represent the disability properly either. Look at Chibnall. This is why we have the problems. We have the problems with the writing of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor.
If you're focusing on ticking boxes, this is the main problem. It's not about so much as having representation on screen. It's how it's represented on screen.
Yeah.
If you're just going to have a gay person turn up and say, hi, I'm gay, and then they're killed, but they've managed to tick the box, they got that inclusion on there, it's a bad character. It's immaterial. They got shafted, not in a good way, and that's it, you know. But they tick the box, and that takes time away from the story. Okay,
yeah.
That's a few seconds there detract from moving the story forward in any meaningful way.
It's Doctor Who. It's supposed to be sci-fi. You can do your history stories, historical stories if you want it as well. Even if you have a message, have your message in it, but make the story front and center, please. I just want to, I want to see space battles as well. I want to see ships. We don't even get that in Chibnall's there. And then when he does do it, it's the most boring. We get talking frogs. We get talking frogs, right? We get talking frogs.
That's him trying to be clever and witty, like Douglas Adams. Douglas Adams did this way better.
Yeah, we got 12 minutes because I'm ending on the 2 hour mark. But I want to bring this article up, right? Because it was from, I think it was from Digital Spy, right? We've all seen it. I'll put it up on my channel, right? They said they were slagging Classic Who. Right now, one of the points that they brought up, they talked about one of the things that Doctor Who would like to forget about is the fact that the Doctor committed genocide. Right now, the person that wrote this article obviously hasn't watched Doctor Who, because if I'm correct in saying Jodie Whittaker's Doctor and the Master committed genocide.
Well, the Master committed genocide. That seems to be okay. And she also managed to get the entire human race killed off.
But didn't she?
And the survivors brought back to the 21st century without any identification prospects or anything, and fish out of water. So she's removed humanity from the future, brought them back to the past. So all future humanity that survives are now living in a council house TARDIS in 21st century Britain. Well done. Well done. Well done, number 13. Great stuff. Well done.
And here's the thing as well. They talk about the usual. I can't find. I think it's from Digital Spy actually, or is it Screen Rant? I think it's Screen Rant. It's Screen Rant because Screen Rant always scrapes the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Doctor Who to criticize Classic Who on every opportunity that they do. They get a chance to criticize when fans are not happy with the
You do not come after Classic Who. Fuck off.
Right. So here, I think this is it here. The worst thing about if
you've got a problem with the classic era, you are not a Whovian.
I'll tell you now if this is the article. Hold on. The fourth Doctor was way too serious. It's number 50.
They were developing his character. I mean, come on.
The second Doctor was right. I don't think this is the right one, and I think I'm after finding another one from this fucking bottom of the barrel bloody call themselves journalists, bunch of
hacktivists.
I'm being seriously. I don't care, right? I'm sick of this attack on Classic Who, right?
Yeah, fuck off with that.
Right, I'm sick of it, right? They even get dug up an old clip of Pertwee to try cancel the man, and he's dead. Fuck, leave it out.
I know, right?
Right, here we go. Right now, just let me. I'm not going through the whole article, right? I mean, I'm going through the article, but I'm going to breeze through it. I'm just going to take out the footnote. So, Doctor Who, the worst thing about each Doctor, right? So, let's see.
So this is them. This is again equity, right? To bring down the characters of the previous Doctors.
Yeah.
So
Right. So I won't read
the current one.
Dealt with right there. So we'll read this. So the number 13, the fourth Doctor was way too serious. So let's read what he says. And we're not going to read it all, right? We'll just read some of the details here. So he says, when Doctor Who first hit the screens back in the late 60s, in its original form, the Doctor himself was played by William Hartnell. Rather than the fun, campy Doctor Who of today, he was a version of the character was hard-headed and serious.
In his first series, yeah, but he mellowed out as it went along.
I agree there. I agree.
He was a man of mystery. He was mysterious.
So it says this version of him was brought back into the modern times thanks to David Bradley a few years ago. So that is your criticism, though.
Yeah, where they sacrificed his character to make him sexist.
Well, I'm sorry. To be honest with you, I like William Hartnell's Doctor. He's the purest Doctor that we had, obviously, because he's the fourth Doctor. So, you see, again, these are just little stupid little things they pick up on. Right, so the second Doctor was was a manipulator, right there. I can say it that way, but I can't say it this way. Right. So let me see. The second Doctor wasn't as serious as the granddad, like as Hartnell, and allowed the character to have a laugh every now and again. However, this version was to be was
known to be. I mean, it's terrible. Yeah. Doesn't anyone proofread?
Again, the person that's writing this article doesn't. And listen, I can't really critic, but I do have
a bad attitude.
However, this modern version was known to be rather. He's not the word. His companion using them for personal good gain quite often. Right.
Example citation.
No examples and no
examples.
Would you like to comment on that one briefly? I don't want.
It's utter rubbish. I mean, what? No examples given. So
okay.
I mean, there's no thought. He just picked something out of thin air to complain about.
Yeah. So apparently, the third Doctor brought aggression to the character. Well, I did like the more action Doctor. Does that mean it was aggression? Right, so let's see what he
was
writes.
Serious. That's all.
He was well known for his portrayal of a very strange TV character called Wurzel Gummidge. Around the same time.
No, it wasn't. It was after Doctor Who, not the same time. Oh my God, this person knows nothing.
Despite this, he didn't bring anything childlike to the character at all, and actually made him a little more aggressive.
Rubbish.
Right.
Rubbish.
Is that the end of that criticism?
Rubbish.
Okay.
Again, no examples.
Right. This is the article because this was the one that drove me over the edge.
Abandoned. No, she was leaving.
Right.
Didn't
So the
abandon
fourth
her.
Doctor abandoned Sarah Jane. So Tom Baker's version of the titular Time Lord is probably the most universally loved version of the character thanks to his humor and long-standing role. However, at the end of his run, he was forced to abandon Sarah Jane to return
It wasn't the end of his run either. I mean, this person
without
knows nothing.
point for her character until the reboot.
No,
Again,
Kanan and Company happened before the reboot. Sarah Jane Smith Adventures happened after the reboot. But he didn't abandon. He had to go to Gallifrey. He couldn't take her with him, and
exactly,
she was leaving anyway.
Explained that in school reunion.
Yeah,
Go and kiss this fella. It just hasn't got a clue. So, the Doctor I grew up obviously watching. I did watch Tom Baker, but this was the Doctor around at the time when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. So, the fifth Doctor tried to combine seriousness and
eccentricity.
Thank you, Lee, for that. I'll be slated for that. So Peter Davison obviously enjoyed playing the Doctor as he returned to the role in various ways many times over the years. However, his attempts to combine the seriousness of the first and the did I say that word?
Eccentricity
of the fourth didn't quite work.
How didn't it work? I don't think he was very eccentric. I think he was quirky. But hey,
right. So the number 8 he comes up with the sixth Doctor was part of the show's worst era.
Certainly the worst written until recently.
Around the time of the sixth Doctor, Doctor Who itself was marred with huge issues in production, ranging from hiatus to budget cuts, leading the show down a pit of. Well, you know what? I actually kind of
familiar.
Yeah, but I kind of do agree with that one. I mean, I can't really argue with that.
Why do you consider it the worst Doctor ever until recently?
I would say it's the writing. It's and I mean, I'm not a fan of Colin Baker, but I'm starting to enjoy.
He's great on Big Finish.
Yeah, but I am actually enjoying the stories that we watched so far on there. Right. Yeah. So the seventh Doctor had a brutal and pointless death.
So that his death was like the worst thing. Like, I mean, I couldn't even think of anything to complain about. So just his pointless death. Look, if anything, he was the manipulator. He was the manipulator. I can't even say manipulative Doctor.
He was the manipulator.
So he was the one who was the manipulative one. But hey, never mind that.
I think he might.
But that was great because if he had another season, Ace was being groomed to become a Time Lord. He was testing her. This is well known within the fandom if you actually bothered to know. So if it had gone on another series, then definitely she would have been primed to go to Gallifrey. But it didn't happen.
They say here, right? So they talk about Colin Baker there, but it says the seventh Doctor was unceremoniously killed by a gang, and a blotch surgery meant his second heart failed to kick in. What a terrible way to end a 20-year storyline.
It wasn't a botched surgery. It's because his physiognomy was different to human physiognomy. Therefore, what they were trying to do to him by resuscitating him was to actually to make his heart fail. So, yeah.
Number 6, the 8th Doctor only had one chance. Wrong. You had the movie plus, but you show this of what was it? The Night of the Doctor. So after
nothing to complain about.
Kind of right. Okay, we'll give him that one. Right. So Paul McGann can't really disagree.
And it also brought the sort of romantic thing into Doctor Who, which I didn't like. But hey,
really, he had 2 chances though. So
he had Big Finish as well. I mean, he does mention it there.
Big Finish, so technically, you're wrong. And I'm right. I'm talking about the journalist that wrote this article. The Ninth Doctor tortured a Dalek. Oh my God! When you
that's so terrible. Oh God.
Oh. Right. So let me get this straight. So the Daleks basically destroyed. He had to basically destroy the whole of Gallifrey and the rest of it because of the Daleks. And he got locked in a room with one. And he realized that it was defenseless. Yeah, of course he's going to take.
The Dalek was already being tortured, by
Yeah.
the way. Yeah.
One of the worst moments came when he
just came out. Sorry.
No, it wasn't one of the worst moments. That was one of the best moments.
He just came out of a fucking time warp with these Daleks.
Yeah.
You're right. You know, forgive him a little, but Rose helped him out of it.
This one does actually. I agree with this one. I do agree with this one, though. I have to say I do, because this pisses me off. Actually, I hate that whole scene. But I know he was kind of like, you know, why me? And
he was about to die.
I know.
And he was. Listen, at quite an emotional moment, he realized that he had to go.
I do find.
But he sacrificed his life for Will.
I know he ended up doing that. I know. But I just didn't like the whole, like.
It's hard to think of a problem with the 10th Doctor. David Tennant's portrayal is perfect. Well,
just get in the fucking thing. Like, we don't need the speech off you right now. But I got it. But that has still to this day. That doesn't sit nice.
I think it's a fair trade-off. To be fair, he wants to save his life.
But in fairness, he did save his life, so he's forgiven. So yeah, I kind of agree with that one. But right. The 11th Doctor introduced the 4 signs of the show's quality decline. Again, that would be true. The end of Matt.
I don't have that much of a problem with that. I think that's that, you know, but I don't think for the reasons that we would cite. I think, you know, this is where we, you know, with River Song, the kind of intersectional feminist thing started happening here. This was, you know, the opening titles weren't particularly great either. The theme tune I didn't like them. But hey, people do. Fair enough. Yeah, but
listen, the first time I seen them, I'm like you, Lee.
His first series was spot on.
Cartoony or something. There was just something off with it. I think it was the theme.
It was juicy BBC.
Yeah. But then, no, it grew on me. It's actually one of my favorites. It's up there.
I hate the fanfare. It took up all the theme tune. It's like, you don't need it. Just give us the.
I do agree with the reasons here. He says Matt was great, and there was still some brilliant episodes during his run. I agree. But confusing storylines, I agree.
Yeah.
And the redemption of the Time Lords just stopped him from making his mark.
I don't know what that means.
The Time Lords, I don't agree with that part. But the confusing storylines, yes. That's where Moffat tried to overextend himself and thought he was being clever. And then when he got himself into a bit of a rut,
he didn't explain things. He left it
properly, or be a timey-wimey situation.
Yeah.
With me.
Yeah, his payoffs weren't as good as RTD's.
Number 2 is the 12th Doctor was too fierce. Okay, this is a criticism that people have, but this is where I stand on.
I liked it. I preferred him being grumpy.
And it's the same with Hartnell. If you haven't seen Hartnell's pilot episode, I have it because obviously I have on the Earthly Child DVD, and it also has the pilot on it. I prefer the pilot to the one that was aired because he was harsher in it. I like Peter Capaldi's 4th season because he is that little bit, but I could understand it. But the problem is that, you know,
well, you had two youngish doctors.
Exactly. You had David Tennant and Matt Smith, and then you went straight to Peter Capaldi, which was a shock for some. And he does say it here. It was a bit of a shock to the audience. Yeah. I will agree with you about that. But Peter Capaldi, for me, I don't think that is a criticism.
But this casting was for classic fans, I think. I think there was like a bit of a payoff for people who had been watching since the beginning or since the classic era and who longed to see a more mature man.
Oh, but look what's number 1. Finally, one we can all agree on. The 13th Doctor.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just one major thing. Okay, that is the major thing.
Criticism, and I'm glad they've actually brought it up because this is criticism that we have.
Yeah, so but it's one of many.
Yeah. So Jodie Whittaker's version of the Doctor is probably the weakest in the show's history.
Well, hallelujah.
And it isn't really her fault at all.
A little bit.
I will agree with that as well because it is
a little bit her fault. It is a little bit her fault.
And it's not. because he is a bad showrunner. And
but it is a little bit her fault too. She should never have taken the role.
Currently starred have attempted to rewrite the established history of the show, running things for committed or ruining things that was supposed to be for ruining.
No, it says running things for committed fans. Yeah, again, badly. Yeah, you're right. It should be ruining, but it's written as running, which is just appalling.
Committed fans without providing an ounce of entertainment.
Wow. Boom. Okay. This person's won me over, even though they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about before.
You're not forgiven for some of those choices, right?
Yeah.
Because seriously, I think you need to take your head out of the sand
and get proofreading.
For that one, and I'm being honest, that is spot on.
I take my hat off. All my criticisms.
It's spot on. And about bloody time. And who was that? Dan Peake. Yes, please keep doing more articles like that, and you might win us over.
But know your shit about the classic era for a start. You know, that is just bollocks. The last one, spot on. So at least you got one thing right.
Yeah, it is. It's sad that they do have to kind of stick in classic examples then when they put the Whittaker one in. You know what I mean? Just look at you could easily, out of the 2 seasons that you've watched.
Well, if the shill media are turning on this era.
List or top 12 list of the worst moments alone in those 2 eras, 2 seasons alone. All right, stop attacking classic Doctor Who. Listen. Doctor Who fans, right, that love classic Who, know that some of you are upset about some of the show's elements. We look at it this way: it was basically a product of its time, but at the same time, the show didn't set out to be all of these things that is accused. It was trying to entertain, tell a story.
It was also very progressive for its age as well, for its time. Very progressive.
So you need to kind of forget about those hang-ups because they're not genuine. It's disingenuous to say the things that you are saying. But the thing about it is, it's great. It's great, man. That reporter there, right? I mightn't agree with everything, and I have called him out for the shit that I don't think.
Well, he didn't know what he was talking about.
Right? Well, the last part, he's obviously watched the Whittaker era, right? Because you could see it. He's wrote his piece. I agree with that, but we need more journalists speaking out against this era because there's too many fluffy articles being made. And the sooner the tide turns with the media, then we might actually get somewhere.
Well, it's nice for him to say that it's been ruining it for fans and not saying toxic fans or something. Yeah. So it wasn't loaded. And that last bit, thank God. I mean, finally, I think this is probably one of the only articles that has actually not tried to cast us in a bad light and has actually said the truth rather than pandering and ignoring us and or calling us toxic.
Exactly.
So that's a refreshing article.
We had more like him. This is what I'm talking about, though. We had more.
Yeah, that's only one I know of.
And by the way. No, actually, I put up an article. It's in video form as well, Fires. I've actually got an article from a female fan who said that a female doctor, they didn't need a female doctor to feel empowered. I've put that article up. Yeah. I'll post it again on Twitter. There are articles from women as well that have a problem with this, but there needs to be more people coming out and speaking. But we need the big hitters to start coming out, you know. And unfortunately, the big hitters are all soaked up in all of this nonsense, so they don't want to veer off track, and that's the sad thing. But yeah, for once, there's I love it. Do you know? I'm just screenshot the end of that article actually, and I'm gonna stick that up on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, but with the caveat that everything up until then was pretty much bollocks.
Yeah, that's it. Right, but listen, we're going to have to leave it at that. We've got 9 minutes over. I have promised Cheryl that we'll watch the end of Sherlock, so that's what I'm going to actually do.
Don't bother. It's rubbish. So,
we're watching actually the one, what is it, The Sign of Three, the wedding episode where Sherlock gets drunk.
Yeah, Sherlock really went off the piece.
Yes, this is where, I do agree with you. This season does veer all over the place.
Yeah,
But
it's the worst. It's horrible. It's
yeah,
really
it's
sad
less
to see.
detective, and it's more like you kept doing the Mind Palace thing. Oh, get away! I had any problems with that when it was aired at the time, but I'm still kind of enjoying elements of it. I mean, Andrew Scott playing Moriarty. I mean, we did enjoy the first two seasons because
Oh yeah, the first two. I mean, the first is the best. The second is
yeah.
pretty good. The third one, God,
Yeah,
God,
yeah, we
no.
won't go there. We won't go there. Right, listen, guys, everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
My chat has froze, actually. So what I'll do is I'll refresh while Lee calls out his social medias and whatever else he wants to plug there real quick. I'll be back in just 2 seconds because I just want to make sure I haven't missed anybody in the chat, and then we will leave it there.
Hello, it's me. Yeah, so at the moment you can't find me on Twitter because I'm currently enjoying time on the naughty step for calling out bullies who decided to attack a 90-year-old William Shatner and all the rest of it. But you can find me on Parler, which I've now gone to as an alternative. I check it maybe once a day. It's not really busy. You can find me on the Video Vault with Rabbi and Noel, as well as Dan Fuller's Facebook and Father Christopher. He's on that, so you can go and check that out. That premiered earlier today. Also, if you look back on Noel's channel, there's me and Noel with Comics Division, who's one of the members of Friday Night Tights, talking about the trailers that have dropped for the superhero movies.
It was actually a great stream.
Great stream. It's a long one, but it's well worth putting on and rolling with some great conversation. We spoke
multiple topics. We watched a few trailers as well. We had a laugh. It was actually one of the best streams that we've had in
good fun.
Most enjoyable one that I've had in a while, to be honest with you. It was like a bunch of friends just sitting there talking about the trailers and stuff, and it was great because some of the panelists didn't see some of the trailers, so it was great to get first-hand reaction. And we talked about other stuff as well. So please actually do check out that stream because it's a great stream. It actually should have more viewers, but the thing about it was, because I was doing it with Comics Division, I didn't actually throw it in all the groups that I normally do. So I might actually do that tonight because
if you can take the link to the video with me and Noel and Comics Division. Do spread it out on social media. Get more people to come and look at it. It's a good one. I really enjoyed that.
It was brilliant, and and there's Chris as usual throwing up the links to stuff there. So thank you very much, Chris, and everybody in the chat that contributed with a super chat. Really appreciate it. Everybody that actually took part tonight, thank you in the chat. Really appreciate it. As I say, without you guys, we are nothing. And don't forget, Friday Night Tights is actually probably about to premiere soon. So get over there, support Gary and the lads. Comics Division will be there as well. So say hi to them and support them as well. Great channel, great guy. We spoke actually off air as well. Didn't we? We spoke off air as well, didn't we? Or was we spoke off air as well for a while. Genuinely
great guy,
nice chap. I have to say, one of the nicest people in the fan. He's part of the Fandom Menace, isn't he? Yeah, he's one of the nicest people. I have to be honest with you. We had a great chat, and Father Miller was with us as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's great. Really
and Father Miller.
Father Miller was with us.
Can't get enough of Father Miller, but we had a good time. It was a good one. So yeah. Go and check it out. Off the Friday Night Tights, Rob Fellow says, get yourself on the Friday Night Tights. I'll see you in the chat as well. Obviously, I'll be watching Sherlock, so I'll be kind of, I'll pop in a little bit later on because, I think we've got one episode or 2 episodes to watch. It'll still be on. He goes on for about 5 or so. I will pop in. I'll I'll talk to you all soon. Lee, as usual, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's been an honor. We will be back tomorrow, of course, with the Classic Who Watch Along with Lee, Rabbi, Super John. I'm just trying to think of all the names off by heart. Who else have we got on the Classic? I'm always forgetting someone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always forgetting someone.
Yeah, my brain is not altogether engaged.
I know I'm forgetting someone, but Ballstreck.
Is he joining us? Oh, great.
Yeah, Ballstreck should be back for this one.
Great.
Hopefully.
That's always fun.
Yeah, so I think it's
speaking French.
And it's doing his French thing. And
then liking hats.
We have New Who. It's obviously, unfortunately for some, it's Fair Ho. But I don't like it. But we're gonna listen. I'm gonna see if this is any better than because I don't like this, right? So I'm gonna see if it's any better, or have I been too harsh on it? But to be honest with you, I doubt it very much. It would have worked. It was a great premise and stuff, but they didn't execute it properly, to be honest. And Chris has actually put that live stream with Comics Division, Father Christopher and Lee and myself.
Yes, a Ninja Night there. Lovely to see you, fella. There's the link, so it's all good for you to spread around, get people to watch.
Thank you. We really appreciate the support, and thank you to the people that have been subscribing to the channel lately. I really appreciate all the support. As I said, without you guys, we wouldn't really exist. Well, we'd still do what we're doing, but we wouldn't have.
Yeah, welcome to the new people in the chat. It's great to see some nice new faces.
It is. And with that, I'm going to say good night. Enjoy your weekend. As I said, you'll have us all over the weekend. Oh yeah, next Saturday though, I might have to move I will. Sorry, I will have to move the Classic watch along to Sunday and do the New Who watch along on the Monday because it's Cheryl's birthday on Saturday. And of course, you do know that I can't stream on her birthday because I will never be forgiven. So I'll have to actually let Rabbi know before he does. I'll let him know tomorrow when we have him on that I have to change. So I hope you don't mind. It's just a slight little change, obviously, because it is Cheryl's birthday and we're going to do something nice.
Nice, good.
Yeah, hopefully we can go somewhere where we can actually go for something to eat. I don't really fancy going into a restaurant, especially now. But it is a birthday, and
we I think I'll speak for everyone in the chat, especially to those who interacted with Cheryl. We wish her a very, very, very happy birthday the next week, and we'll be thinking of her on that day.
Sure, you could say happy birthday to her on Friday night when we're on.
Yeah, we could do it then.
Yeah, you could sing her happy birthday or something and embarrass her because she's embarrassed.
Oh God, no! Embarrass myself.
You did it to me. Yeah, how many have we actually done it to as well? As well.
Oh God.
We love it. Yeah, if it's your birthday, don't tell us because normally then what we do is we have a panel. We always sing happy birthday. So you don't want us to sing happy birthday badly.
Super chats.
Don't tell us it's your birthday. Don't tell us it's your birthday. And with that, I'm going to say good night. Go off and watch Gary on Friday Night Tights, guys, or whatever else you are doing. Enjoy the evening. Stay safe, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Lee, thank you again. And we will leave you with Lee is wonderful. Oh, yeah. And if you're looking for anybody to do some work for your channel, Lee is your guy. He has
I can do branding. I can do CGI stuff now. So yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah.
I'm actually rendering one thing at the moment, so hopefully that'll be finished shortly.
Oh, nice one. Yeah. So if you need, as I said, if you need anything going and talk to Lee, he has obviously a reasonable prices, obviously, but I will tell you one thing. He puts a lot of hard work into it. When he did this trial, he kept me informed every step of the way. If you want to be kept informed, of course, he'll keep you informed. And also, when he was testing out this new software, obviously it was a learning and learning.
That's why my prices are reasonable, because I've still got lots to learn, but I do take it very seriously, and I will try and get the best results. So.
He does, and I'm going to show you this. He did do a Revolution of the Hoovians trailer as well, which is impressive. You should check that out as well, actually. That is great. Actually, I did throw that up on the channel, didn't we? We threw that up on the channel before.
I think so.
Hold on, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, it's thanks to StreamYard, it doesn't look so great, but I mean, the quality is just a bit more pixelated.
Here. Yeah, it's not going to look great on StreamYard, but I think we definitely did put this trailer on, didn't we? I'm pretty sure we did.
Maybe.
I know we put the intro, the one that we use for the channel, up, but I'm not sure if I put the other one up.
Well, you can show. I mean, it's not much. The only sort of difference really is the logo at the end and the time title.
It's still okay. We'll just you're right. So I might as well just show them the one that we're playing now. But yeah, as I said, go and check out his work. Go and talk to him, Greg. Great lad. He's designed, as I said, all of the he's rebranded my channel basically. Actually, not basically. He has rebranded my channel, and some of the stuff, as you can see, the branding and stuff, it's amazing. So go and check out his work. So good night, folks. Thank you, Chris, and all my moderators for the fantastic work you do, and to all the lovely people in the chat. You look after yourself, and to me, great guest Lee. We'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you. Bye.